Hello YouTube, hope everybody's doing well out there. If you've been watching a few of my last videos, I've been on a real hunt lately for a good everyday carry bag, which I can also use for my traveling as my personal carry-on item. So it's kind of got a pocket of size that I'm looking for here. And so today I'm going to be going over my first impressions after a short time of use of this bag here. This is the Lowepro Photo Active BP300 AW. Translates to the larger of the two photo active bags. This one comes in listed at 25 liters and measures just under 19 inches tall. You got a width of about 12¼ inches, and they list the depth at about 7½. So it's pushing the limits a little bit for that personal item carry-on, but the capacity is really good. I mean, take all that in stride, because dimensions and capacity are all just kind of points of reference, I guess is the best way to put it. There's not necessarily a strict guideline, especially on the capacity, but also on the dimensions. This one's listed at 7½ inches wide, but it's probably about as wide as bags that I've seen listed at like 12 inches wide. So yeah, it obviously depends on what you're packing into these things, and that'll go a long ways on determining what the end dimensions are going to be. But also, I don't know where they come up with some of these numbers. It just don't make sense to me. This bag in particular really highlights to me the reason why I want to do these videos and what I personally get the most out of watching other people do these videos. Number one is, with everybody, we all do things differently, so you get a different take. But even when I watch a video from somebody that does things completely different than the way I would, you get an idea. It sometimes just makes a light go off and find a use for myself, or maybe I'll just take little bits of what they're doing. But also, when you see all the advertisements for these bags, on most of the literature that you're going to read, you don't get a feel for it. And in this day where, you know, there's so many different items, I mean, Lowepro has so many bags available that it's pretty crazy, in my opinion. there's too many options. And that's just from one manufacturer. I mean, you think of all the options out there. So you can understand why everything's going to online ordering. And to save people time and money, because hey, we all pay for it in the long run. When we return items, all this shipping back and forth, that starts to add up. So if we streamline that, it's going to help everybody. But getting a feel for things, you don't have a place to go into a lot of the times nowadays. So getting all this information before you make a choice and move forward, I think is extremely valuable to all of us. And I just want to kind of help put that out there. And of course, it obviously is going to do me some good, because I hope to build this channel to be profitable in some point in time. And there are some links down below. They're paid links, affiliate programs, things like that, where if you use them, I would get some compensation for you doing so, and I greatly appreciate that. Anyways, let's get into the video here and take a look around the outside of this bag. And I'm not going to touch upon every single little feature. Like I said, there's literature out there that kind of describe a lot of the items on the bag, but I want to focus more my time on the real feeling for the bag. You know, like, for instance, this bag. The thing I liked about it so much, Lowepro makes a lot of their bags, they got MOLLE kind of attachment points. It's very like techie in some ways. Don't get me wrong, they also have some other bags that are very outdoorsy. Like I said, Lowepro makes just so many different items. But this one in particular here, it's got a really lightweight material. And so right now I have this packed out, and when we get into it, I'll show you this top portion will just collapse on you. It's so lightweight. But then you do have an integrated camera section down here at the bottom. For me personally, I like having that because a lot of what I do is I shoot these videos. I also like photography quite a bit. If you check out my website, you'll see that I have a lot of galleries from everywhere I go. I try to put together just a portion of the pictures of what I've taken, because I do like to walk around and have a camera with me. Anyways, I don't want though it to be focused solely on photography. So this bag here has a section up top that's open capacity, and then down below it's got the protection, the integrated camera groups. They have what's called a quick shelf system that's in here, and I have a tip for you on this. You'll see here when I get into it, I've utilized something unique to greatly improve this product in my opinion. But the material is very lightweight. It doesn't look necessarily, in my opinion, like every camera bag, you know, not that super techy. It looks very standard, more like a regular backpack. But you do have side access on both sides, which to me is great because any bag, well, side access is just phenomenal when you have a camera with you, for number one. But when it's just on one side, camera manufacturers always have it going off on your left, which isn't, I'm right-handed, and it's just more, it feels right going off my right side. So I like that balance. I know obviously hey, they put it on the left for a reason. I do know a couple of the reasons which I just kind of deal with, but also everybody's different. You got right-handers, left-handers, and some people that are just whatever, like it whatever different direction. But the quality of the materials is decent, I'm gonna say. It's very lightweight. The zippers though, they're very smooth, almost a little too easy to open at times, but they don't have a good solid feel to them. I am a little worried about the longevity of the zippers on this bag. And if I end up carrying this with me long term, I'll do an update later on for sure, but I'm not sure, so positive on exactly how that's gonna go. Because as we get into it, I'll show you there's some other deficiencies I feel. Top here, you have a quick stash pocket. It's just nothing but one of this soft lined pockets, so that's good for sunglasses or glasses. Maybe even if you just want to toss a filter in when you're out and about, so it's quickly accessible. But it's got a little padding to it. It's soft. It's not going to scratch things up. And again, same with the zipper here. That's the same zippers all the way around the bag. But behind it, you have your main compartment. And one other little thing I'll mention, here on the front side, on the bottom portion of this pocket, there's a little lip here, and it can kind of act as a bit of a quick grab. Obviously, it would depend on what you have in here, if that's going to be a good idea or not. You also do have a handle here on the back side. It's thick nylon webbing, it feels like. It's got a little padding to it, and it feels pretty good. I like the placement of this because it kind of just keeps the sleek minimal look to the top. But so you have a dual zipper compartment for your main top portion, and then behind it, something I like a lot, is a separate laptops compartment. It's very short zipper, just across the very top of the bag, and it's a simple one pocket. There's no divider for separating a tablet and your laptop, but it also does have inside a hook or a loop, let's say, and a hydration sleeve pass-through. So you can use it for a hydration sleeve if you're not going to be carrying a laptop. I personally like these small, separate for sure on the laptop compartment towards the back of the bag. Really nice. It's one of the features that drew me to it. Okay, moving along, you have some retaining straps, one on each side. And there is a mechanism for a quick kind of a release to it, which you push it together and this little metal clasp will open up, allows you to unhook it or hook it, squeeze it together, and it hooks itself back on. So it helps to hold a tripod or a tall water bottle or something tall altogether in both of the side pockets, which is a really, I'd say, a pretty nice mesh. It's more of that, you know, like a spandex material. Good amount of stretch to it. So also very good depth. They're wide, the entire width or depth of the bag. So that's a nice feature overall. The sides here are also padded so that if you have, say, the back of your camera facing out this direction, at least you have some protection there. Wouldn't put necessarily like a tripod there or something really hard right up against the back of your screen, but you do have a little protection there. And the front of the bag, the very front section here is a nice durable material. I wouldn't say that this is one of the areas where it doesn't feel top quality, but it's not bad. And so this is a nice pocket. And on the sides here, you have this same elastic or spandex kind of material. So you get some stretch that you can actually, you get a little bit extra depth here. Some little spandex grabs with adjusters on the sides here. So you can hold a variety of things with these little loops down below. So it's actually kind of reminiscent of like trekking poles or something I see on hiking bags. Another thing that's nice here is that you see the bag stands up pretty well on its own. The bottom has pretty good padding. It's got these two extra ridges of some nice dense padding to them. And then the shoulder straps and the back panel. Now the back panel has this air channel, but this bottom section down here is actually padded a lot like the sides. And you see these cutouts right here. They don't do a whole lot. And honestly, this foam that they have inside of the under the gray and along the bottom here is extremely soft. So it compresses down really easily. And then you just have a solid back panel up against your back. This was something I definitely didn't like about it. When I saw this thing online, I saw this back panel and actually got kind of pumped about it. I thought it would be great because I like these raised sides and a nice air channel in the back. But really, like I said, this bottom part, it sticks out to the height of this, so you don't actually have airflow throughout here. This is padded, and so now you have this pocket that's created right here, which really isn't doing much of any good for you because once it heats up, and also because it's so soft, it just compresses right down, and it's kind of loses its functionality altogether. So that's a big flaw in my opinion. It gets like a whole waist. And the shoulder straps, they have this really nice dense foam, which a lot like what you feel at the bottom, maybe a little bit softer than at the bottom, but it's dense. It would be a good foam to have here on the sides. And on the bottom, I personally think that this needs to be more of an open channel, creating that open space for this to be a flow. I think they really missed the boat on that one. I don't know why they went this direction. But the shoulder straps also, let's see, I use a capture clip by Peak Design. It's great when you're, this having the side access, it's great. It kind of makes it so I don't necessarily need the capture clip so much, but I still like to have it. I like to just drop my camera here on the side while you're just walking around. It's just so accessible. But where you'd want that would be more in this range here. And they have these pockets on both bands. And also they're so wide at this point. The only place to put it was down here, and then it's down almost in your armpit. It just wasn't gonna work out for me. But these pockets are stretched, they're mesh. They're more of a true mesh. They got a good stretch to them, but you can definitely see the holes here. Definitely good for stashing something really quick, lens caps, things like that. You have a sternum strap. Nice, I like when people, they just do these little touches. This is a little elastic band kind of holding this extra slack material. And then there's the elastic behind that gives you that flexibility. And when you're moving around, but yet it's reinforced by the actual nylon webbing, which is really good. And then the shoulder straps themselves, you see there's a seam here on the back side, but it's just The material just wraps around. This is a very squared off piece of foam inside of there. It felt comfortable so far in my minimal testing, let's say. And they're wide enough so they feel okay. I think they do all right in the long run. They have some material running up here, so you got these various points where you can lash things to. They kind of cut a corner though. I mean, it's kind of the, again, same thing with the back panel, with the shoulder strap. They kind of half engineered these things, is the way I look at it. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the only way I could put it. You do get one of those little simply nylon webbing waist belts. The shoulder straps here on the bottom, again, they do have these little elastic bands wrapped around, so it offers you can double this back up and retain this extra material, keep it so that you don't have things flopping around on you all over the place. So it's kind of nice. I think that pretty much covers the general idea of the exterior of the bag. So let's get on the inside. Okay, so I'm just gonna walk through. So you saw I don't have anything in this front pocket. That would be a nice quick stash pocket for me when I'm going through airport security, things like that. But on the inside, see these zippers, they don't go down very far. Just go just around the corner almost, about the end. But inside of here, I actually just have, fits really nicely with a little space in the bottom. But see here, this is the DJI Mini 2, the little shoulder pack that comes with the Fly More combo. Probably have about an inch of space over on the side, but it's a good fit for it. Now, here, we'll take a look, fold these up out of the way here, take a look on the inside of the bag. So you see here, I don't know if you'll recognize those, but I went ahead and I got rid of their compartments or their dividers, and I insert the Peak Design pieces. So you have this origami shelving in here, and they really fit in there great. This is out of the Peak Design Everyday Backpack version 2, and I use all three of them, and they just, I'll show you a little bit better angle here, or from the side view shortly, but they really do fit well in there. And then on the inside here, right on the top, it comes with a rain fly, which is nice. I just wish that they had a pocket maybe at the bottom, but I'll show you also there's a way to tuck that away. This also comes with a lens cloth inside of a little bag. It's got a little mini carabiner, kind of nice, and also came with a lens pen or equivalent of. So it's nice, but quick stash pocket, little key retainer tucked in there. I would probably go ahead and take that one off and do one of my S-Beaner clips from Nighties. This is nice. See, it's a little mesh pocket. Another place to just kind of stash things. And you see here, there's some little elastic flaps that come over the top and make it so that things can't slide, at least in this front portion of that quick shelf system, which I will definitely show you more of here shortly. But those are kind of nice. They have one on the back side as well too. And now if you wanted to use this space, you could, slide something in front or behind the shelf system, no problem. Okay, well, before we slide that shelf out and I get into showing you the particulars, these are the components that I left out of theirs. But let's see, taking a look here on the side, and see I have my A7, and this is the brand new full frame 28 to 60 millimeter lens on here. Super compact. I'm liking it. It's a kit lens, so I mean I'm just taking the the chance on it right now because for traveling, it's so much more convenient. I was carrying the 24 to 105, which is just, it's like 500 grams, or that's over a pound, I think, heavier. So the give and take, let's say, I'm giving it a go, but you see how compact this is. I mean, this is just so tiny. Looking forward to carrying that around and giving it a go. But you see here, so I've got, again, all 3 shelves. What you can do with this little pocket or the rain fly, slide it underneath the very bottom one. You can adjust that. You can put something else on the other side. Actually, a passport fits in here really nice. So you can have one side passport, one side the rain cover. Kind of keeps a consistent size, whatever. Good dimensions there. But you can see we got my battery bank, a little mini tripod, strap for a flashlight, just a variety of things. I didn't do anything spectacular on packing out, but you see here now, because of this system, it's easy to get in. So I got my little blower here, but I have easy access and you can really compartmentalize things. And also it doesn't make it flop down. Now with their shelving system, so you have 3 of these gray guys and you get 2 of the orange, yellow kind of things. And in most of the pictures, I just saw that they were just putting these in, kind of dividing things, or you could put them upright this way, but now to get across to the other side, you actually have to rip it out. Peak Design, their capture clip, their neck straps, the glides, I mean, so many of their things, I really like their innovation. I just wish that they'd come up with a backpack that's, you know, more standard looking, not their super tech. They do their bags really well, but I was carrying that everyday backpack. It's the smaller, the 20-liter version, but for me, it's actually 17 liters with that flap closed to a reasonable level. And it was just, so I need a bag that's gonna carry all of my tech goods, or more than this, when I'm traveling from one place to another. And then it goes into day bag status when I get there. And the 17-liter or 20-liter everyday backpack, size-wise, it was pretty good for the daily carry stuff. But when I was going from one place to another, packing that thing out, it's really dense. So that and the look just wasn't me so much. I like this more basic look, honestly. But you see here, this is where I'm talking about the top flapping down. But yeah, the Peak Design, and you can buy these inserts separately. So if you don't have the backpack, now granted, they're about $15 a piece. So you're talking about $45 or so, give or take, just for the inserts. Now, honestly, this bag too, even like I say, in the quality of materials, speaking of this inside, this feels like some of the most generic, cheap, I don't know if nylon or polyester that I've ever felt. Inside of here, it's got a little SD holder. It's got a transparent little piece. The pocket actually goes all the way to the bottom. This doesn't feel too bad. It's got a texture, kind of like a sandpaper on the outside and then a slick on the inside. The quality of that doesn't feel horrible, but all the rest of this is very cheap. You have one drop pocket, and it goes down about 2/3 of the way here in the bottom, and then 2 small pockets here for pens or lens pens, whatever. But getting back to it, yeah, the Peak Designs, they really have done some great things with innovating new technology. Actually, I'll leave that open. Now again, the zippers here, they slide super easy, almost too easy. And when you have the bag, so I say I just drop it down in front of me, they go the opposite direction of what Peak Design did. Peak Design goes from the outside around this way. So your flap comes up towards you, which I can totally understand why that they would want to go this direction, because now things are fully in view of you. But it also highlights, you know, the real the real challenge to the side access, because when you bring it this direction, now you're fighting with the shoulder strap, and like right now, actually, I caught the extra little piece of material in there. So it's a compromise thing. Either you're going to do it this direction, you got to fight with this, but I'm sure I get used to it more and more, and it wasn't that difficult when I was out in the field. Just something to know about. But you get this great view of what you have inside. Now with a Peak design, it's easier to get in and out of. Their zippers they feel more quality, but you're looking over the top of the flap. So again, something to think about, something to definitely note. And for one last look, it's got a couple other items in here, but now again, you can just flop these down and there's a full view. Something else here on this other side, you have another zipper compartment, no window on this one, goes all the way down. You don't have any slip pocket or stashes. You do have a couple of see-through parts here that would be good for like your memory cards. I don't know how I necessarily feel about that, having two different. I kind of like the way Peak Design just gives you the same on each side, because again, you know, some people are going to drop it off their left shoulder, some are going to drop it off the right, and doesn't mean that you don't want access to certain things. I think that they could have given you a couple of SD or, you know, a couple of memory compartments, maybe slid them over a touch, and still a couple of drop-in pen slots and a pocket. Done. Heck, you might have even been able to put the memory slots on top of a bigger pocket. So you still have, just like this side here, one larger pocket and then two pen pockets, zipper compartment, and maybe just your memory card slots above, and do the same on both sides. That way, no matter which way you take it off your shoulder. That's just my thought. Obviously, other people probably like exactly the way they've set this up. Now, let's take a little bit closer look at this quick shelf system. They've designed it so that, see how it just kind of collapses, and then you can quickly pop it on out. And it would do this, obviously, if you put the shelves upright to kind of create dividers, it wouldn't do this. You need to take these out. But being that all of these are the same width, which, as you'll notice here, when you kind of push this together, they're very close. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of hard. You get a little bit of a bow to them. They're flexing down, so I'm trying to push it up, but they're about the same width there, or depth, whichever dimension you're looking at. But actually, let me put it back in. There's another thing I love about this, using the Peak Design dividers. So, say I've got this set up this direction here, but yet it's a travel day, and I've got a couple of these larger items that I can't fit in there. I'll have my drone still up at the top, so I don't really have a place. Well, now with the Peak Design inserts, you pop this one upward, and of course this all depends on how you lay them out, but this setup really fit well. You fit a lot of different configurations in here. But so now I reversed it, and I've got this nice big pocket down below. I can put, I do carry a couple of these or items close to this dimension, so I can stack a couple of them in here, or, you know, you got room for one big item. Pack everything up. Obviously, you know, there's just a lot of different configurations. Your camera would have to go somewhere, but the flexibility is what I'm getting after here. So, yeah, this shelf, I wish that basically they could do something like what Peak Design has, but this is a hack, I guess is what most people would term this as, is a way to really increase the functionality. Now, with the other areas of this bag, such as some of these materials and these zippers, that's why I'm not so sure I'm going to end up having this for necessarily like, well, a long-term kind of a review, because it's really let me down in those other departments. So it's kind of like this system, so beautiful. Maybe, I don't know, if Peak Design could do something similar and make a bag with their classic. They do materials and zippers so well. And Lowepro is just this huge mass production company is the way, I'm sorry, but I have to look at it. That's the impression I get of them. And so that being the case, I guess that's why they find these corners to cut. And it's one of these frustrating things for me is that, yeah, you need to make compromises, but man, why put, you know, you got good innovation, good technologies. Why cut corners and now compromise your whole product? And this is, like I said, I don't know what I mentioned. This bag cost me like 160 US. That was on sale. I think it sells for a little over 200 normally, or right around 200. So it's not a cheap bag by any means, but some of these materials really are cheap. So yeah, generally speaking, I'm quite let down by the bag, but I'm very, I'm appreciative of what they've done with something like this quick shelf system. See how easy that is to just pop in, and then you just take those elastic pieces on the inside, put them around the top, and now it's got that retained in there, so it's pushing it down, keeping it together. Such a great product design in that department. So I don't know, hopefully it gives you some information. Sure, as usual, I buzz right by something and maybe overlook something. So if you got any questions, any comments, please drop them down in the section below. And I will, of course, be putting product links. And maybe if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about what I'm carrying here, and this was just kind of thrown together. This is a possibility for a daily carry setup for me. But if you want to know any of the other information about some of the other products that I'm carrying with me, let me know, and maybe I'll put specific videos together. I'm starting to brainstorm, you know, something for that in the future. But all right, so hope that was some useful information for you, and thank you so much for your time and watching, and take care out there. Ciao.